Okay, good late Monday afternoon, everybody. This is Michael Venezia. Is it really head trader? It is head trader. I'm the only one that really that trades the. Yeah, it is AAOI. What's that doing? Okay. The bottom line is I'm a coach, and one of the coaches, first, more importantly, at TradeGATEHub, sponsored by TradeView Markets. Most importantly, what I do basically on the side, although I'm as transparent as I should be, and it's more of a coaching level. And coach was actually off today, not off today. He's stuck out west in the West United States in bad weather, hurricane weather, literally somewhat unprecedented. So he wasn't on 9:30 this morning. Believe me, and he misses it just as much as anybody because there's a lot going on, and I'm sure he'd like to articulate it. But I'm going to do my best to fill his shoes, and they are big shoes to fill. Okay. Monday, as I sign into TradeGATEHub, everybody knows that Monday is the most important amount of data. It's dynamically speaking, if you will. I'm not posting many charts because I do post a majority of macro charts because I want everybody to get an overall picture. It's almost like the blank canvas, and I'm trying to give you the good paints and the scenery and the best brushes available. But it's up to you to paint the picture. And you know what? We have, as I signed into TradeGATEHub, we have a couple of things that you have to be aware of this week that are also earnings related and pin action, meaning follow through on relative stocks that might be affected by that relative earnings play. And also we have Powell speaking for the first time in what I would consider quote unquote a while, Friday in Jackson Hole. So it's almost like one of these deadliest catches thing. You just can't go right into and catching fish. You got to navigate around icebergs before you get the big catch. It's not always clear sailing. And give you an example, here's what we got going on this week. The economic schedules or economic calendar, I always post. So we have new sales on Wednesday, existing sales Tuesday, jobless claims on Thursday, Powell on Jackson Hole on Friday. The following major earnings plays on top of Powell speaking and economic numbers, which seem to be as sensitive as ever, are as follows. The Bitcoin fear greed, by the way, didn't move much. It's around 34, 35. It's not my type of play. As I said before, we should be shorting these things on the way down. I'll get to some charts in a second to show you what I mean. Here's the earnings play. Okay, after the close, we got Zoom. Fine, it's a mover. Fabrinet. This FM, it's a Cayman company. I'm surprised Tim hasn't bought it yet. If it does, I'd like to run it because it's a sexy freaking company. Look at the chart on this Fabrinet. It's one of these optical plays. It goes with, listen, it's a thin stock, but goes with OLED. Great chart. AAOI. Which, by the way, nice cover, Mike V. I said, you know what? I started shorting it right after the 10. I hope I'm on the right chart. I'm going in. Listen, when I go to charts and I go to trades, it doesn't stop me. You know what I mean? So I'll get back to macro in a second. AAOI. I've been playing the stock actively, and why shouldn't I? Before the last 2 days, the stock had 3 days down. The high was $15.90 to $13.20. So stock's got a $3.20 range on huge volume. Third day down, still hold that breakout low in the area right here. Now it went from 1191 to 1515. Nevada comes out with earnings. That's pin action with Nevada. AAOI, by the way, if you go to the monthly, this I think it was 500. No, okay, well, you know what I mean. Probably it's split. So this has it in it. It's even on the monthly, it's above the moving averages. On the weekly, it's above the moving averages. On the daily, it seems a little bit stretched, but it looks more prone to a pullback. So you know what? This morning, I shorted a little bit after. Maybe what was my first? Maybe what was it? 945. I waited for the 945 fade. My shorts were between 14.71 and 14.88. Then I said, you know what? I'm going to short a little more to put out a feeler. It was above the 15. I took it all off at 14.73. I did a lot of work to do nothing in a stock that I was could have done better in with the opportunity cost. But listen, like I said all the time, the last thing you're going to be worried about is any of the trading of the financial instruments that are moving. So AAO is another one. And that, by the way, why did I go to AAOI is because of FN was the chart. AAOI is also in there. OLED, actually light. had earnings the other day and completely bottomed. I mean, that had a big reversal. Light was almost one of the leaders, but they just don't want it anymore. As I said, FN, you don't want to be wrong there. Sexy stock that is coming out with earnings. I don't know why I concentrated. So I like that optic. Listen, I like groups that trade in sectors. I like sexy stocks. I mean, there's no doubt that that's AA. These are, movers. We'll move on. What else is in the docket? And I'll go with some earnings plays. I should go day by day, but I'm just thinking out loud of what's going on. Nordson, not familiar. Macy's, I have a position. And you know what? I'm going to tell you why I have a position. And it's a wrong position. And I don't have a lot. It's got the wrong type of calls. There have been better of breed. There are a lot of retailers that are acting a lot better. Urban, for example. Kohl's acting way better than Macy's. Even, as far as big box retailers, Nordstrom at least had a bounce. Macy's had nothing. It's taking a ton of option flow, but it's not the option flow that I think it's reminding me of is, what was the option flow the other day that was the bad option flow? You remember that, Lewis? What was the poor option flow? Oh, you know what it was? SE had the same type of chart, same type of calls. And you know what? Macy's is feeling the same way. And if they're wrong, they're going to unwind the calls and sell the calls and take advantage of the people. I don't know why I'm so caught up on Macy's. I've been trading it for a while. I've shopped there when I was a kid. My poor mom probably spent 6 figures on the credit card for me there. Let's go move forward. All right. Medtronic, Lowe's. So listen, aside from, I'm not going to go through every earnings place. Aside from the economics numbers posted Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Powell speaking at Jackson Hole, stocks that you could see right now, basically Toll Brothers, NVIDIA, Macy's, Lowe's, Cody has earnings today. I want to bring is Ulta. Speaking about Cody and Ulta, that's the glamour sector. Autodesk, Dollar Tree, NVIDIA. Oh my God. Kohl's too. Kohl's is going to be right after Macy's. So listen, I might play that if Macy's pops, I might ride that into. You know what? It's a step-by-step thing. It's almost it's not like a par 3 in golf where you just hit the ball, you try to land. It's a par 5. I want to hit the ball appropriately on the drive. I might want to lay up, and I want to put the ball where I think I could put my wedge, the best angle to the green without hitting the sand trap or going to the water. It's this type of week for me. Foot Locker, no difference. Okay. Earnings plays. Always have it on the list of TradeGATEHub. If I got into this long of a dissertation about earnings, I'll certainly go into it a little bit further on down the road. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm TOL. I'm thinking out loud. All right, next. Guys, any questions before I go through this? I appreciate it. Or I'd love to answer them. Paul, welcome back. Came freaking firing back like a hero. No, hold on. I called him a warrior, and a warrior sometimes gets wounded a lot, and Paul and I get wounded a lot. But it's a general. It's a general and not a soldier. Name of the plan. Looking to have him back. We're lucky to have him in there. Probably going to have you one day on here, Paul. Matter of fact, we are sooner than later. It's up to me. Okay, let's keep continuing. All right, S&P long-term view. Helene, as I said at the beginning here, we always look at the macro. Here's a multiple TGH guest somehow. Helene Meisler, look at all the charts going from healthcare, staples, GLD. This is it on GLD. No surprise on the GLD chart. Get out of here. Coach, you know what? We missed close to much. You know what? I took a loss today. I took one of my 5 biggest partial loss of the year. I took it. I did it. In general field, GFI. I don't like that. I have to. So listen, I have good enough for one to recover, but I had to take some off. Just not going. I have to do it. If this has another gap down here, just can't do it. GFI, I don't know what to do. AEM did take some calls though. But right again, I don't know if it's the right type of calls. This doesn't look like the right type of calls. I'll pass on the gold sector. There's the macro chart on GLD. Probably, obviously, heavily valued to the dollar as well as the 10-year. That's all we're talking about at the 10-year, 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 10-year. Surprised Tony doesn't respond to 10-year when I say 10-year. Pardon me. Go over these on your own time, if you will, about Gold back ETFs, by the way, have withdrawn money from the 12 consecutive weeks. But keep in mind here, and I'm not biased anymore, one stock. Where's the gold in ETF? Just want to point how it correlates. Sharpie's exposure in gold. They're actually buying. As you see this, whenever they're on the way up, see how it's rising up here. They're all in. Gold moves up. See here, they're all in. Gold moves up. They were all in here, and they got somewhat bagged, and now they're doubling down. I don't know if I like that, but they're smarter than me. So until then, maybe I can get a bounce to get out on GFI. Next, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do? Okay, always an economic chart for the week. Economic calendar, another chart on the spies. Good morning, G. Always there. He gets it, man. I'm telling you. I'm gonna have him on there too. We're lucky. Okay, let me sure I'm going because I'll wrap it up if there's no more questions. I'll get to the bottom question. Tactical sentiment. All right, they popped the oils a little bit. Mega caps popped. All right, you know what I mean? They rotated. Coleman conversation. Hedge funds are adding to names while shorting ETFs. All right. I guess you got to play weak names. Sector sentiment, go over your own time. This market has changed. It's not a bullish market anymore. Technology, you might want to be, instead of buying the dips, these are dips. You might want to be shorting some rallies in selective stocks, sans mega cap stock. Those I wouldn't be shorting mega caps here. Larry, smart as they come. Fund managers near overweight bonds versus a 20-year history. All right, they're in. Fear and greed as it's at 37. Go over upgrades, downgrades, always economic research. Listen, the bottom line, pardon, Paul, I'm always firing away. Paul and I had some decent banter, and it was a mature professional banter. So go over it. It was a good lesson for you younger traders. The dollar and China in the bond market. All right, at least we know what's going on. The rally that kept going up, the past, 3-4 preceding was just pumping liquidity and just, it was parabolic. So I like the reasoning, and the reasoning to me gives me a better plan, even long term, because when there's more reasoning, sometimes, a lot of times I'm wrong before I'm right, but that may be maybe sometimes arguably aggressive trading. This, I have a lot more, I have more macro reasoning, just instead of buying a stock because of price action volume and range off the 8 or 21 day or whatever. A matter of fact, I think I would rather more start to tactically. My mind is setting more tactically into more positioning as the VIX, hopefully stays a little bit up a little bit. I don't worry about the day trading or swing trading so much, because most of it is in the plan anyway that I develop. B, it's more innate, so I can really adapt quicker. And that's how I look at it. It's part of my plan. Like I said, I don't necessarily have the best plan. Maybe the way I execute my plan. You do not know dollar strengthening or not. Well, you will see that. Yeah, you're right. And Vori, thanks for posting. I mean, it's mature. It's a mature statement, but it's first level thinking, but it's awareness. It's the thinking I like. It's awareness. I appreciate that. Paul posting. Vori, thanks for posting. We want more trades from you. You definitely, from what I see so far, a pretty good commodity trader, V. So I'm going to leave it off what the wise guys are doing, because it's only 9:30, not even 2 hours into the trading day. And let's see what the wise guys are doing here. And you know what? The first thing I see is I'm seeing a lot of macros. Put calls getting wiped out a little bit, which means, it's back to the market's not that oversold anymore. It washed out appropriately. Over here, the market is oversold. Now that the put calls, granted, we know there's a lot of daily, these zero DT trades. I get it. I didn't put much credence anymore in the put call ratios as I keep speaking to my peers and knowing that they're kind of false readouts, because there's always a place to run to throughout the day to hedge. It used to be monthly options. Now it's weekly options. Now it's daily options. So the more outs that they give, they meaning the final instruments of the market, the less expansion I believe you're going to have in price action. Only when things come to extremes. Like that's an example here with the put calls. Okay, HYG bearish. You have to know what HYG is. And what is it? It's like the LQD, high yield. It doesn't move much, but that chart means a lot more. That chart means a lot more than any type of range in NVIDIA that has $100 range. That chart within that range of $2. LQD, no good. Oh, and here's the picture on HYG here. You know what? I'm going to post this to TradeGATEHub right now. Live action might be. Hold on, I'll show you what I do. Now I'll go this. I'll go save image. I'll go like a Jesus feed, JHU. Then I'll go here. I'll go TradeGATEHub. I'll go TradeGATEHub. You'll see that, and I'll post it right here. How you doing? So we have to watch what the investment grades and the bonds are doing more than that. So that's live what I do. Travelers near low, Mueller water, SPOOs intraday's low. What time is it? Let's go to our news page. Another thing I look, I'm just telling you what my process. All right, news feed from our friends Hammerstone. Intel acting poorly, SPOOs, Tupperware, they're squeezing Tupperware. So you know what? They're squeezing Tupperware. They squeeze, they just when these, if they don't want, meaning traders don't want to play macro stocks or no ever any interest in Citibank or Kohl's or Macy's, just start playing low floaters, and they always want to trade something. They meaning anyone. All right, AMC lows, Tesla added the top ideas list of Baird, JKS and CIQ lows, PNW at the highs. Why aren't we doing this? That was part of the reason why the market was up this morning, because the PN Palo Alto coverage or earnings. There it is, cybersecurity. You had the guts to take it. Let's look at the other ones. CRWD, ZS. Where's that U? Jim Cramer keeps punching this U and pushing it. And all they do is keep selling it into it. It's a decent. I had this thing. I sold it, thank God. Have it as Sentinel One. Not really cybersecurity. It's more airport stuff. But those and LOK, the worst of breed. It's like the Cisco and LOK. What happened here? Maybe Norton Lifelong changed its symbol. I'll have to look into that. Anyway, let's keep going here. All right, that's what I look at. Wise guys. HYG, QQQ's bearish, and it should be. You see HYG gets pounded, comes up like this, very, very rarely on the Jesus feed. HYG 3 times in a row. You only see like Nevada 3 times in a row. Then you know what? Then the Qs are not far behind that. So we'll take a look at what's going on. We'll leave it there. See this? I'll go right here. Another thing. Because you see the HYG, top gainers in 15 minutes. They're taking up the VIX and the UVXY. So what are the top percent losers? Okay. Open, VFS, that skills. That was skills. I told you upon that. What was one? Oh, you know what? Somebody asked me a question today about there was option flow futures negative coming in on Cody. Okay. Now, this is what Alpha's been doing, which is also a beauty supplier. Cody's also, I think it's predominantly European. Estee Lauder had earnings this morning, and that's breaking one of Louis Pinto's favorite, or I don't think he's in it, but he's always aware of it. By the way, Louis, that might be the spot, if at all. And Cody took some bullish flow. So Cody has earnings tonight, as you should have seen there. I don't think these are the proper type of call flows. Somebody might be, this is a decent chart, and it has been a bullish stock, if you will, going from 6 to 13, almost actually more than doubling. So as you see ELF going lower or starting to pull back a little bit, a best of breed. Ulta, we have earnings later in the week, as you should have seen. It's definitely topped, if you will, and looks like it's starting to roll over even more. The earnings later in the week will really put a stamp on the short-term moves. And they saw Cody with bullish calls, and I don't think those are the right time to calls. I think that's a hedge. I think that's like an SE call, and hopefully it's not like a what do they call? What was I talking about before? So, yeah, the SE calls. Gotcha. All right. So I'll leave it there. I'm trying to process, how the last week's movements and into my weekend research into what's already happening as of a couple of hours this morning. So I'm gonna let it sit and digest. I'm not gonna be doing anything much through this lunchtime, and maybe I'll use the lunchtime as an excuse. I don't really want to make excuses, but for me to maybe collect what's going on and start building a plan, because my plan going throughout the week is more important than the next couple of hours, to be honest with you. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Paul, welcome back. Vori, once again, Skymark Capital, we see in there. Start communicating. Again, to everybody, Gerard, across the board. We're gonna make it a good week. And you know what? Any questions? Or I have any questions? I asked for questions, I asked too. So please feel free. We want to make the room better. Questions, comments, complaints, all welcome. You know what I mean? We got thick skins here at TGH. You know what? Because me, the coach, and guys like Paul and Lewis been trading freaking 100 years total. And we bring you high level opinions within high level movement. So thanks for tuning in. We'll see you after lunch and throughout the week. Coach and I will be on tomorrow. And you know what? Hopefully, if Coach's internet is back, because they're having unprecedented weather, literally, Google it, in California. So we're hoping to be on at 11 o'clock tomorrow, Coach and I. If not, I will be on at 11 o'clock. So until then, Trade will have a plan. And thanks for tuning in. Focus.